Well, welcome finally to now, Miss Shea Coulee. How are you doing?
Hey girl, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So good to see
It
you. It's
is
been a
always good to see
minute.
you. It is so
Yeah.
always good to see you. I think it's this is the last time I saw you in person at at the Halloween function in Chicago. That can't be the
Yeah,
last time.
I think
Really?
so. I was like, it would either be that function or I remember, was that before or after we hung out in New York and
Oh,
Brooklyn?
that might have been actually before.
Yeah,
So
and
I think we hung out in yes.
okay, period. But yes, it's
Yeah, so
been a
I
minute,
got to,
girl.
I've been around for a little bit of the spectrum of Shea Coulee. We've been around in the
Yes.
beginning of the days,
Oh
back in
my goodness.
Chicago.
Yes,
Um,
girl.
I remember. Do you remember when I first got to meet you? And I just paused and created some air there for a second in case I have to like edit here real quick.
Uh,
But just saying, are you okay with me talking about how we originally met and
oh,
because we don't have to
absolutely.
say but I was the girl was looking for the weed and you had the
Oh,
connector.
absolutely. I am not ashamed of that at
Okay,
all, girl.
me
We
neither.
all had a hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I just remember in the early days of me building TransTech with my co-founder Joey Grant, who you know as well, right? Do
Yes,
you? Yeah,
yes.
you know
No,
Joey Grant
Joey.
as well.
Yes, love him.
Listen, those days were really hard in building my nonprofit. Things were going on, and the girl, needed her own self care and needed to find who were the girls that
Absolutely.
knew where the green was at. And
Mm-hmm.
and my girl Shea Coulee was ahead of the curve with that.
Yeah, girl, I was the plug. Yeah,
You were
I was the plug.
the
I was the plug for the girls because this was like before weed was recreational in
yes.
Illinois. So, girl, yeah, I was the plug. Like
Girl, for a
you needed.
small amount of time, I was actually the plug too. Because I was like, there was a moment when I was just like, well, shoot, I need to go ahead and get this little side cash. And again, I say that very openly because to say that,
Mm-hmm.
like, I come from a place within our communities where, girl, get it by any means necessary
Yeah.
because this system is not set up for us to succeed.
Yeah.
Hopefully you
No,
have the
it's
certain
not.
coping mechanisms and things around you to support you when you're making risky decisions and whatnot. But
Mhm.
child, that's why I only dealt with people, what I'm saying, like that I really knew. Like, girl, what you need? You need an eighth?
Right.
What you
I
need?
got you. Come on over. Come
So
on
Shea,
over.
Shea Coulee. Okay. So one of the questions I usually start with this question, but I just jumped right in because I haven't seen you in so long.
Mhm.
My first question, official question to you is: how is Shea Coulee doing right now?
Ooh, how is Shea Coulee doing right now? I just got back, like literally just got back from dropping off my ballot for the election.
Yes, we
Um
love a voting queen. We love a voting
yes,
queen.
we do. Um it felt different
What do you
this
mean?
time. It just felt I was in okay, first election I ever voted in ever was for Obama. I was 19 years old, just like
Oh
I mean,
wow.
on cloud
Shit, I
nine. I
didn't know you
remember
were that
there.
much younger than me.
I
Okay.
know,
Yes. Work. Work.
baby. um, but like so, it was like so exciting. I was just like, wow, just my first time getting a chance to exercise that right, it felt like anything was possible,
Mm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
And then came the 2016 election where obviously Donald Trump was running, but I was just like, baby, this is so crazy. That man is not gonna win this election. So still very hopeful, very optimistic. And then the results of that happened,
Mhm. Gooped us all. Yes.
gooped us all. And so, then Biden stepped up, was not really my
Yeah.
pick for the 2020 election, but I said, okay,
Mine neither. Literally
we
not mine
gotta
neither.
get
He slid right through as we canceled out everybody else. Yeah.
I was really like, wait, hold on, wait, who?
Right, right.
Okay. Um, and so with this current election, it's just like as I've gotten older, as I've gotten more informed just
Yes.
about the
All of
structures
the
that are in
things.
place, people who I have voted for in my local elections, who I've seen through their tenure either live up to what they said that they would do or not and fall prey to people, getting into their pockets and being able to buy them. Um, it just, I like, girl, because it was a mail-in ballot. I really felt like I was doing my SATs, like the anxiety, the
Where you
excitement
what
was like gone, and the anxiety of realizing that I was like, oh, these decisions are really going to affect me on so many different levels, like on local levels, all of that. Girl, it
what
was
state are
different.
you voting from?
I'm in Illinois.
So you're still in Illinois, yeah. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
so what are some of? Do you remember like some of those major things that were up for on the ballot that you were like, oh my goodness, girl?
Okay, so reproductive freedoms, just keeping that, instated and keeping those safeties in place for women in Illinois, that was up on the ballot.
Wow.
Taxing people who make over $1 million annually to help offset the price of property tax. That was uh, on the bill, on the ballot. And what else was there? Oh yeah,
Has
being
has
able to.
has your perspective on taxes changed as you have um raised up in the
Yeah.
brackets a little bit?
Yeah, as I've gone up a couple brackets, it really makes me resent the police that much more.
Because what is your money going to?
Because I'm like, wow, I'm paying multiple salaries.
Absolutely. Wow. So, well, first of all, thank you for being such a great role model as always, and showing the girls how to use their voice and voting. But
Yes.
also, like, you are someone who, I've been just a diehard, like diehard fan of you for just so long. You coming from Chicago, I wanted to tap in with you on something. Like, cause I think you've been in the area for a long time, right? Like working out
Mhm.
of Chicago. So you
Mhm.
were, I'm working over at the Kit Kat Lounge over
Mhm.
on Halstead, with
Yes,
those
ma'am.
girls. I'm getting paid what, $75 for the night plus tips. And this is about their
Mhm.
third restaurant. Now they want to open up one in Malaysia or this, there, and the
Right.
third, or whatever the case is.
Right.
What I know in the area that we kind of came up in as queens, it seemed like there was a very different experience from the white queens to the black queens, in just a sense of one, white queens being white men when they take off of their drag and having jobs at places where they can be queer and they could
Mhm.
be all of these things, and
Mhm.
they can buy the rhinestones and the fabrics and the sewing machines and the, all the things or whatever. And then
Right.
you got these
Talk about it.
girls trying to pay for cab fare and the Mac makeup that they just wore for that evening.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about what it was like for you in the beginning days coming up in that environment, and how did you break through, because you seem to have gone from this place of crafty queen to
Mhm.
like polished crafty queen?
Yes. I feel like, necessity is the mother of invention. You creativity is birthed out of needing to make something, not having the ability to afford designers and people to make things for me. I had to get in there and get my hands dirty and get detailed and work on it and build it with my own two hands. And that gave me a sense of appreciation for the amount of work that goes into things. So, like, now when I think about when I'm hiring somebody, I'm very considerate of their time. I'm very considerate of their energy, of their creative process.
Hmm.
Um, but it definitely taught me to be honestly more fiscally responsible when I did get the funds to be able to afford to have somebody step in and help out, because now I understand kind of like what the market price for a beaded fabric per yard is. So,
Absolutely.
sometimes when you send me that invoice, I have the knowledge to be able to ask a couple follow-up questions to know if you're really charging me something appropriate. Or
Because
you
the
trying
girls are
to throw some
crafty.
other time.
Yes.
Yeah, they try to get really smart. So yeah, it taught me a lot about how to just be smart, and also be able to save. Like, the girls know, like, I love to be like you said, crafty. Like, crafty is like, it is a state of
It's
mind.
a
Like, I want to be
lifestyle.
able
Yeah.
to take a little and make a lot out of it. That's just like, I love that. A dollar
Now,
saved
you
is a
know,
dollar earned.
when I see, because I've been one, like, I'm one of those trans women that,
Mm-hmm.
who has a special place for for like RuPaul's Drag Race and just obviously drag in general,
Mm-hmm.
because for some reason, and this was, a lot of the conversation over the years, which I've just, for me personally, you don't have to speak
Mm-hmm.
on this, but for me personally, I've just sort of given up on my level of engagement with Ru and
Mm-hmm.
conversationally in these spaces, because
Mm-hmm.
like uh the acknowledgement comes in hindsight of like maybe changing policies and different things, like where now
Uh-huh.
the girls can be openly, I think they can be openly trans on the show,
Mm-hmm.
but us knowing that that was a problem in the beginning and saying
Right.
certain things. And so what do you, because now as an advocate, one thing that I have learned teaching people about all of these different pronouns,
Mm-hmm.
ways people are identifying, gender fluid, gender fuck,
Mm-hmm.
non-binary, two-spirit, all these different
Yeah.
things. And then learning and teaching that, trans is this umbrella term that has all of that underneath it. So
Mm-hmm.
in my eyes, I'm looking at Rue like, bitch, they all trans. Now what? In the sense that because of the non-binary aspect that a lot of queens sit in,
Mm-hmm.
and just like, I mean, let's be real right now. Sis, you giving me non-binary teas down, right? All right. You know what I'm saying? Like
My
bust
little
down and all the
bust
things.
down, my
So
little wash day.
so how did I just it could be the same, it could be different. How
Yeah.
did Shea Coulee identify at the jump, and where are you at with your identity now?
So in the beginning, I identified as cis, even though I didn't really understand that term wasn't really around when I it was not in my consciousness when I started doing drag. Um, but as I continue to do drag and I continue to have these real world, real life experiences presenting feminine, it began to reveal and no, reveal is a really great way to explain it. Just really began to reveal all the different layers of my gender identity, and I started to understand that it didn't feel one or the other, that there was this sense of duality and balance and yin and yang that were like, going all together to kind of create the whole person that I am. And so it's funny that you say that, because when we were doing season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race, I'll never forget, we had this great conversation. I didn't make it in the final edit, but a Peppermint was like, yeah, drag falls under the trans umbrella. And no one had ever said that before, and I remember just like being at
Wow.
the makeup mirror, like
Right,
sitting in
right,
my hotel room at night, like,
right. But
she
girl,
like planted that seed.
I was starting to get it as I'm watching your confessionals, because I'm starting to
Hmm.
realize some of the girls are showing up in their boy drag, in the sense of
Hmm.
giving boy drag down. Miss
Uh-huh.
Miss Vanjie,
Alexis. Oh,
or
Miss
no,
Vanjie.
Miss Vanjie will give like a
Yeah.
good like beard and like
Uh-huh.
jewelry and like the
Uh-huh.
hair and the whole thing or whatever, and then many of the other girls are somewhere in between, like,
Absolutely.
and literally somewhere in between. And what I
Hmm.
love about the terminology around non-binary, or these terms, is that it actually is something that is so initially undefinable in itself of non-binary, but then when you actually look at the people, it to me it feels correct in the sense
Hmm.
of, are you frozen? Are you there? I think you might be
I can
frozen.
hear you. My visual,
You can hear
my
me.
camera, like of the way that I'm looking, is frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay, I think it just came back.
I'm
Okay.
slowly coming
It might be
back.
coming back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there yeah, yes, you're slowly coming back. There you go. Um,
Okay.
what was I saying? I was talking about the oh yes, there you can tell in the confessionals and everything, and you look at the people, and when I look at them, there's a
Hmm.
beauty to me. There's a beauty that is non-binary. There's a beauty in the
Hmm.
ways they have figured out. And you can't
Hmm.
necessarily say, oh, it's more this than that. It's kind of just their own unique, mix of things.
Yeah.
So right now, are you still identifying as cis? Are you non-binary, or are you nothing? Are not naming
Oh,
it at all?
I'm non-binary boots. Yeah, just
Boots,
really,
yeah.
because it's just like I really do live in that duality now. Do
Because I
I
was about to say, but
feel?
because what was that thirst trap that you had on the IG the other day?
Oh yeah, you know what I'm
Because
saying. So it's just,
all I know is I saw Bob the drag queen talking about topping you, and I
I
was like, wait a
know.
second now.
My sister was out in these virtual streets shooting her shot. I was like, oh, damn, I got the girls feeling a certain type of
Baby
way.
body, yes, body was on point. Everything was on point. But you to me have just been again that type of person who's just beautiful. And that's what
Thank
like what's no listen, that's what non-binary folks really gag the folks on many, many times,
you.
is just it's a beauty either way you cut it. And so
Yeah.
like for you with your cheekbones and your lips. Now mama, them lips. It's like the best shape in the game. So much that did someone have to suggest to you, or because I feel like you've been starting to trademark in a little bit within your merch and things like that, the
Uh-huh.
focusing on the lips
Hmm.
and things.
Yeah.
So like what I know in the beginning, maybe when you were growing up, was it
Hmm.
always a feature that you could proudly own?
Oh my God, I hated them when I was a kid. I thought that
Mm.
they were so big on my face, you know,
I bet they
because
was big on your little face though
they
too.
were, they were. Oh my God, I grew into them. They were, because I mean, you know, everyone's like, you got them soup coolers. And I was just like,
Yes.
I know. You're like,
Did Kool-Aid did Kool-Aid have anything to do with that as well? Or
I mean, it can now.
right, right, right.
But I remember even when I started drag, I kind of like, even when I would like line my lips and do my lips, I kind of used to underdraw them a little bit. And
Mhm.
then I don't remember who it was. I think it was Kim Chi. She was like, "Bitch, stop that! You got such pretty lips. Like, go in, go in." And so now I'm just all
Yes.
like, "Yeah, I love them and embrace them." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know." Yeah, I go through more chapstick, but it's okay.
So now you have we talked about like sort of your growth, but really just superficially so far. So I want to talk about the fact of like, obviously you talk about how budgeting and just learning to become crafty over that time. But I
Mhm.
also know that, like, being a former pageant girl myself, first runner up to Erica Andrews when she went on to Continental, Florida Continental. I was first runner up to her, and then to Bianca Brinsky, and also to Zori Zanel. So I've been a first runner up, a lot in that system. But I know that pageant game polishes you like nobody's business.
Mm, mhm.
What did one, two, has it been 3 rounds of Drag
Yeah,
Race for
3.
you?
3.
How has 3 rounds of Drag Race competition helped you level up your game?
Ooh, that is such a good question. I think doing the competition each and every time, I think I what I wanted to do was try and reintroduce myself and utilize that filming experience as like a time capsule to be like, and this is where you were
Absolutely.
here. And so that I could like look back and then be like, okay, and that's where you were. And then that's what you grew to. And then that's what you grew to again. So I guess what I learned was to try my hardest to not second guess myself and like
Hmm.
really trust my instincts. It is such a intense
I bet you it's like tennis
abridged
because they
quick.
say with tennis that you are really not playing against the other opponent. It's your mind game against yourself.
And it's just like, and then the like great tennis players are the ones that are able to really start to understand their opponent's gameplay and adjust accordingly. Like, I mean, that was
Absolutely.
one of my things that I really loved about watching Coco Gauff play. She is so quick to
Wow.
learn and observe her opponent and what she figures out how they like to play the game. I feel like it is
It's
damn
a
near
lesson.
impossible for her
Yeah.
to not return that unless you hit it directly behind her back. Like, other than that, I feel like
Wow.
she got it. She got it. I love her. I love you,
Yeah.
Coco. I was just playing tennis yesterday. I was like feeling my
So
Serena
you wait. So wait,
fantasy.
you're a tennis girl too? Because I play tennis too.
Yes, yes, yes. I was
I think we need a trans or non-binary or a drag tennis league. I think we need a league.
yes, all the
Yeah.
girls get their installs on, and then everybody comes to the courts and they play
Yes.
and they slay.
And so who would you say out of all the years? Now, I'm gonna say this. Like I'm like I said again, y'all who are listening or who are watching this, I have been a no joke, no cap, hardcore Shea Coulee fan. Like just from the shows, just see this all the things. And we get to what was this? All Stars.
Yeah.
Bitch, I just knew. I said, here we go. We're at the finale. My bitch is gonna clean up. You
uh,
Miss Thing's energy was on. It was Whitney Houston. I was like, we got this.
yes.
We got it. It's Whitney Houston. We got it. My girl's gonna
Yes.
slay. And then I look up and that bitch pulled off her wig and
Oh,
all
yeah.
them motherfucking rose petals came falling out. And I just saw the audience, and I just like you could have seen me like a sports fan in slow time. I was like, no. How 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 did what was that moment like for you? Did you know that she was pulling gags? Like what was happening?
No, it was just like, girl, that whole experience was just like so crazy. What? Chill. Be quiet when you come in here. Sorry, that is literally my drag daughter buzzing my intercom. I was like, what? I'm not expecting the package or nothing. And I look at it, it's her ass. She better be quiet when she come in
Oh
here.
yes.
These
Maybe we can
children.
meet your drag daughter and have her wave, you
Oh,
know. I
right.
don't
The
know who
way they
your
be
drag daughter
running up
is.
on me, the way they be running up on me in my house, I'm
I
like,
love that
damn.
you're drag mother though. Come on, Electra.
Right. I got three, Kinsey, Bambi, and Chloe.
Wow.
And like
All
literally they
Coulee?
all Coulee. They
Yeah.
all live in the neighborhood. Like literally, if you look right behind me, that's Kinsey's like back porch, like right
So are you
out there.
still do you still be bopping up at the, the hydrate or at the, do you still be at Roscoe? Do you still pop up at the local spots?
You know what? When I have had like enough rest and some good
Mhm.
naps, and I am brave enough to be out past 11 p.m., I do stop by the function.
Because the functions be late and all night long on that block. I used to live
Girl.
on Halstead.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It be going till late, late. So it's, like the pandemic changed some things for me. And I was just like, I need to, be able to, excuse me, just give me one moment.
Yes, 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 of course.
Hey, I just told you that I am doing a okay, sorry about that.
No, you're so good. W
Because then she read it, and my partner's like, "Wait, what the fuck? I wasn't expecting her nothing." You see, the children. You know what I'm saying?
we love the
Um,
children.
we do. We love the children. We love the children. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's Halloween. I need to ask, like, bitch, why the fuck this bitch wearing a
That is like
veil?
that's the second pride, and especially in Chicago. That's like the night that the girls don't. I know when I worked at worked at Kit Kat Lounge, that was the night I never wanted to work Halloween because all the girls think that it's their turn to perform the show. Like, and what I mean by girls is the
Oh,
first time
girl.
the drag girls, and now they want to sit
Yes.
and perform during your show, and I'm like, if you don't sit your ass
Baby,
down
if you don't
somewhere,
sit your ass down in that Party City wig and shut the hell up,
baby. But
yo, shut up.
it is like a second pride. I do feel like that's when the girls, especially the ones who are just now figuring out what makeup and hair can do,
Hmm.
I think that's like a first time for them to do that. But how do you deal with, the one thing that was really challenging for me, and I think that is challenging for some other girls, I watch and I saw other girls come from Chicago, like Dita Reitz and
Hmm.
the Vixen, right? Came from Chicago as well, and my girls like are kind of like me. And I noticed like in the sense that usually most of the black girls and a lot of the white girls too end up following me from the show or whatever.
Hmm.
'Cause I talk about all the things, especially like,
Yes.
intersectionality and racism and all these different things.
Hmm.
And sometimes the black girls have an experience that
Hmm.
they might not be able to almost have the language to really clearly like address certain things that are going on, microaggressions, various
Hmm.
things. And I think that when I watch things like RuPaul Drag Race or any of those things, to me, that's like a macro to the micro in a sense of whatever you're seeing on there is something that the girls are dealing with in the community as far
Hmm.
as microaggressions from white queer people who don't have their anti-blackness in check and things like
Hmm.
that. So when
Hmm.
we're talking about like Chicago, I remember there was a moment where there was a club in Chicago. I want to say it was kind of across the street from where Roscoe's is, and there was like the DJ. There was this whole situation where the DJ was like, there was an email that went around that was like, "Don't be playing certain black music in the club." You remember what I'm talking about? Because
Hmm.
they didn't want certain crowds to be coming in there. And when I think about Chicago, I think about the fact that we had to go on the South Side somewhere where like Flame Monroe was hosting a show somewhere, or they was
Hmm.
doing it. I think there was Joe's Pub or East of the Ryan, or there was these
Hmm.
like hood spots, and I loved going to them hood spots. Right?
Hmm.
Oh, I love, ooh,
She
I
said, "A
loved going to
time was
them,
had."
baby. Yes, but in the zone where there are markers and you walk down the street and you see that this is the safe zone. These are the rainbow. We could see the rainbow rings that they have going down the
Mhm,
street and what have you.
mhm,
And then as a black person, you realize, like, even as a transient young youth, we have like the center on Halstead to be able to help them. But because it's over a Whole Foods, the
mhm.
patrons who are going there are like, where do you belong? These, like, where do these
Yeah,
people belong? How did
right.
you navigate as a proudly black, not only in your appearance, but also in your music, your song
Mhm,
choices, the way you show up, but also still having relationships and
mhm,
friends that are white? How
mhm.
are you navigating this space, and or how has it been, I should say, for you navigating that space?
It has been something that I have had to do since I was 6 years old. So, when I was 6, we moved out to the suburbs of Chicago, Plainfield. And we went from being in a really diverse, like mixed community in Indiana out to where I was like the only black kid. So I had to learn at a really young age. I learned about micro, macro, all types of white aggression, racism, and I guess having all those experiences of being around them, I learned a lot about my opponent.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
so once
mhm.
you start to, especially like I'm a really observant type of person, like once you really start, it's kind of like that Coco Gauff technique that I'm talking about,
Yes, yes.
the beginning of the match, I'm just kind of like observing you, see how you operate, see how you work. And I think that a lot of times for um, white queer people or white cis people in the LGBTQ community, a lot of times they don't expect for you to be a worthy adversary. So when you kind
They don't
of
consider you
already
competition half the time.
so when you already understand their tactics and the way that they move and operate, I've learned how to dismantle those things by being really disarming.
Mhm.
And disarming, and when I say that, I mean being clever enough to realize what types of communication work well with them and
Mhm.
what makes them feel comfortable. And it's not necessarily about being agreeable. I have no problems advocating for myself and for what's right and for what's equitable. Um, I just know exactly how to communicate with people. Communication is really key.
Absolutely. Now, I've been trying not to, but like, so I need the insight first of all on the eyebrows. So what's going on here? Because like they're
um,
so thick. They're so. I mean, it's so. They're so beautiful. That's is that all your hair? Look, I know.
uh,
Listen, I'm at
no,
not your. You know.
most of it is okay. And this is the thing, because
Wow.
I had had such a hard time growing my eyebrow hair that I really just shaved them for like years and years and years and years.
Hmm.
And I was just like, I really want to try and grow my eyebrows out. And my esthetician was like, okay, girl, put Rogaine on your eyebrows. Girl, it was that simple. Rogaine, just a little foam. And it's been
Not
like,
that you just dropped the. That's a. I ain't heard that one. Y'all heard it.
right.
Y'all heard
Like,
it here first.
come
Wow.
on, it's hair. It's still hair. So I was literally
That
like, it was so obvious.
Shay,
Um,
I consider you to be a master. Like not obviously with these things as well, but like literally watching the creativity and sort of like the thematic. When I watched you, first of all, when you talk about that tennis match, I will say though, between you and when you and Sasha were competing with each other, I
mhm.
think you guys did like a it was a skit together.
Yes,
That was
yes.
one of those moments when I was like, y'all, this is like next level improvisation. You both were locked in so nasty. It was like
Yes.
you are such a master at these things. I'm going to talk shit for a second and say like, so I have these partnerships that I'm doing different things with, like through TransTech, my nonprofit TransTech.
Mhm,
And we have these partnerships with various organizations like Linux Foundation, Career Circle, all these different things that offer our members access to trainings, free trainings to give them tech skills. But one of those things that I was really proud of our partnerships because sometimes when we're dealing with our community, it's almost the same way that people talk sometimes to homeless people in the sense of they only want to talk to you about what they think you deserve or what is necessary or what you should be focusing on right now
mhm,
versus like whatever I want to be focusing on right now or whatever else I want to be inspired by. So we have this
mhm.
partnership with Masterclass where our members get free access to Masterclass to that platform to
Yes.
watch those videos. And as I'm thinking about that and knowing that, I had to develop a relationship in order to make that work, I'm thinking, what I would love to see, and maybe I have the connections to possibly make it happen. But wouldn't you love to do a master class? I think we need a Shea Coulee master class.
Ooh, ooh, that would be fierce,
I
like a
think
little
that would
glam makeup,
it's glam, but also glam
masterclass
makeup as an artist.
presentation.
Yeah, but as an artist who has learned to create out of nothing, to
Yeah.
create with various materials, how to make best out of what like I just know that there are
Mhm.
various elements of this. So I'm gonna put in a word for you over at Masterclass, my people at Masterclass, and just drop that. But also I have a collaboration I'm doing with actually it's not public yet, but I'm gonna say it here anyway. Well, I have
Mhm,
a collaboration I'm working on with Canva where I
mhm.
have created a sort of course on inclusivity and creative and inclusive campaigns and whatnot. And I
Yes.
just, I know that they've been very interested in these things too, but I just think that you're one of those people at that master level that people need to learn from because of the journey and how you put it all together.
Yes. And you know what? I love to teach. My mom, she's a Sunday school teacher. I guess I get that from her. Like I just, love to talk and share
Where's
knowledge,
mom?
whatever. I she's still out in Plainfield. She's still out in
Is
Plainfield.
is
Her
mom is mom just as much as a Coulee fan as we all are?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Mom is, she's out there sharing the songs with her friend. We got a fan base over at her church. It's
Oh
really,
my
really,
goodness.
really, really cute.
Songs. Speaking of songs, I want to make sure I even talk about that too. Like, so you and I both, we have
Yes.
tapped into our music creativity. And for me, I grew up in the church choir. I play piano by ear. I just grew up with this music, but
Mm-hmm.
transitioning in the beginning started to delay that for me because I just couldn't
Mm-hmm.
find my voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was the journey like? Because I'm telling you, I got all the see every song that you done dropped, I got it all. So, and I love that you play everywhere in your range.
Yeah.
What did it take for you to get to a place where you were comfortable and confident singing?
I think for me was truly when I started just taking lessons and started to learn that the best way to go about singing is to sing it the way you talk it. And so then I had to like really start to pay attention to what my natural speaking range is and where, that's comfortable vocally instead of trying to like reach into some kind of like
Mhm.
high stratosphere and sounding strained and labored. I was just all like, well, baby, that's just not what your voice wants to do. So
Mhm.
once I got over that, and just started enjoying my voice for how it sounds and kind of getting over that vocal dysphoria of hearing your voice played back to you through speakers that I think all vocalists deal with. Then it just became fun and just kind of about like understanding more about technique and how to achieve certain sounds. But
My all-time favorite song is Cocky.
yes, that
I,
was like
I like
literally the easiest one. We literally like recorded that in the living room, like in like 30 minutes.
that puts me in the right mood. I'm fierce and I'm cocky. Boom, the boom, boom,
Yes,
boom. Hey, yes. So
yes.
what is okay, now, I'm taking up enough of your time. This name of this podcast is No Opportunity Wasted. And that is because, you know, I recognize that like life comes with its challenges and with its opportunities, and I mostly see every challenge as an opportunity. But it really isn't an opportunity if you don't take advantage of the moment, if you
Hmm.
aren't prepared for that moment. For
Hmm.
you right now, no opportunity wasted. It is October right now. What is in your sights? What is in Shea Couleé's sights as the next opportunity, maybe for you personally, professionally, as a community? What is the next opportunity you see on the horizon?
Ooh.
Like, are you trying to do some acting? Like, what are we, getting
Yeah.
into?
So Ironheart, um, the Marvel series I did is going to be coming out in June.
Yeah.
So and I filmed that
She's a
2
Marvel
years ago.
girl. I
I
know
filmed that
Marvel's
2
very
years ago.
slow. Marvel's very
I
slow.
I'm just so eager because it's my first,
Wow.
time, and so I'm just really eager to see the performance because not gonna lie, I've like had so many like cold sweat nightmares where like the show comes out and like my acting is like terrible. Like it's just like we're all watching and my acting is like, no, don't go over there. Like I just so I'm literally just like, please just
Well,
let me see it.
listen, like, well, hopefully you are taking your advice in the sense of not second guessing yourself,
Yes.
because literally every time I've seen you show up to the acting challenges and different things like that, like you have it. Like you just
Yeah.
have that instinct. Even Peppermint, when Peppermint came on to Pose and she had
Yes.
her role on to Pose, I was like, girl, you got it. It's just that
Yes.
it's
Yes.
really these situations where we haven't had many opportunities to be seen in that spotlight.
Yes. And it's to think about post, we actually just recently did
Oh,
a rewatch of that this
oh,
summer.
yes.
We normally do it in the fall. We're trying to be all like, but we were just like watching it
Really?
this summer and just like, Candy's episode every single
Oh,
time. It's just
I
always,
want to watch it so bad.
I'm always a puddle by the end of that.
I think I'm going to do a watch party. Because I talked to the fan. The fans are like, "Listen, we'll hold you through the process." Because I haven't seen it in so long, and I want to. It's just that it takes me on such an immense roller
Oh
coaster
my
because
God.
I was laying in the casket. So like there was, and I had a body double for when I had to step out the
Mm-hmm.
casket, and they
Mm-hmm.
still needed a body in there. But I had an experience like I don't know many people might have where I was like vicariously experiencing my funeral
Girl,
where I
right.
knew there was gonna be a bitch, and I wanted to raise up like, "I know the fuck you ain't here at my funeral."
It was just so good. And, just the storyline with Candy's parents and just like
Yeah.
all of it. It just like, whew. Ooh, that was some good shit, girl. That was some
So let me
good
ask
shit.
you, okay, so before we go, okay, I swear this time I am gonna let you go. Have you been watching Global All Stars?
Oh, okay. So I am actually getting ready to be binging it all this month.
Oh, okay. So she's
Yes.
catching up,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
Because
I
the reason why I ask
am.
is because I was like, now that there's a new franchise, is there a chance that we're going to see Shea Coulee go for the global stage?
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I mean, you
You just never
never
know.
know. You
Mm.
never ever ever know. It's just like it's like as the platform and the franchise continues to develop, it's just like they're always coming up with
With
new
something.
things. And
Baby, when I tell
yeah,
you
and
that's
once it
one thing I will give that bitch is branding.
yeah, hello.
With some auto
Hello.
tune, I will give her all of that.
Yes.
I was gonna
But
ask.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was just like, you never know with them. So if there is an opportunity and it makes sense, then
And it makes sense. I think that's the key word.
hmm
Would you ever
yeah.
do like Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, baby, yes. Like I would do Dancing
I
with
could
the
see
Stars
you. I could see
down
you eat that up.
boots, baby. The form, it's there. ABC. Wait, it's on ABC, right?
Have you taught? Yes, absolutely. Has
ABC,
anybody your
call
people?
me.
Okay, yeah. Listen, ABC. I want to see Shea Coulee on Dancing with the Stars. Let's make it happen.
And another thing that we're manifesting, because we're talking about like what we're
Yes, the
trying
next
to work on this
opportunity.
next. I'm gonna go to the Met Gala this year. We
Ooh,
doing that, especially with this theme.
ooh, ooh. Yes. Ooh, I'm gonna speak that into existence for you. I'm gonna even
I'm
nam
gonna
yo ho renge kyo
I'm
a
on
couple times for you.
right, bitch. I'm gonna chew that shit up. I'm gonna eat,
Mm,
just
ah,
eat it up.
Shay, I want you to continue eating it up because there is never a time when you don't eat. Sometimes I'd be worrying about is this girl gonna have bad cholesterol or something because she's always eating. She's always eating.
And I do cook with butter. I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay because you guys, you do need to get your macros too. Get those good fats. Get
Yes,
that butter, that
absolutely.
avocado. It's good for you. I swear.
Well, thank you so much, Shea Coulee, for just being
Yes.
a real one. For showing the girls what it looks like to step your up, step step the games up, and just I cannot wait to see what comes next. And also I know like I've been juggling so hard and things have been really difficult for me on the side, and I'm on the podcast I'll be explaining a little bit more of all of that and as
Yes.
it's unfolding, but getting to a place where I am about to list my house for sale. I'm going to move
hmm
into a bigger home on some acreage and all the things. So once I
Ooh.
get really settled, get my studio back up and everything, Shay,
Yes.
we have got to get in the studio, and you and
Yeah.
we're gonna figure it out. I produce
Yeah.
and I do some other things, or you got some tracks and blah blah blah, whatever. But we're gonna figure out a nasty collaboration.
Okay. Yes. Wait. Yes.
I'm down.
Absolutely.
So
I'm
if
so
you
down
got
for it.
some, cause listen, we're gonna open up the dialogue. I may have some
hmm
tracks, you may have some tracks. We may have a session. We're gonna schedule it, whatever the situation
hmm
is. But me and you need to hit a bop.
Yes. Okay. I'm here for it. I am
I'm
here
here for
for it.
it.
We're about to start working on this next project soon. So yes.
Yes, yes, please call me.
Yes, we'll
Hmm.
do.
All right. Thank you so much, Shea Coulee. And y'all, we will
Yes.
be right back in recording. Um, now, okay, so it's saying finishing upload 100%, but I don't always trust these bitches because like everyone. So we just gonna give it a little bit of a minute to make sure that everything gets up there. Graw. Thank you so much. Yeah, you look stunning. I'm just sitting here gagging. The hair, the everything, it's stunning. Which I know I'm not anymore. Not really. And use that sound. Oh, that hair. Oh wow, wow. I love Carrie Colby. I used to run into Carrie. I used to run into Carrie walking downtown, walking my dog in Los Angeles. We love her. Well, again, thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what you do next. I am always going to be following. I'm always going to get every single song you release, every single thing. I do need to catch up on my merch, so I need to get my Shea Coulee t-shirt though. I need to get some t-shirts. Are you Oh no. Oh my goodness. You're working on new merch. Yeah. Well, when you get that next round in, please,